feet.
Paranormal stories from the crypt. Is this toy-grade hexacopter disappearing from all over the world? Stay tuned as we take on the case of the JJRC H20. September 12, 2015. A young man, known simply as the RCAddict, is out on a field enjoying his JJRC H20 hexacopter. Despite being a seasoned pilot and the flight conditions being favorable, the aircraft suddenly takes off.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on, come back.
Never to be seen again. September 6, 2015. Another man is flying his JJRC H20 behind his house. The man, identified only as ThatsBS RC, is also a seasoned pilot with countless hours in air under his belt. Yet, his aircraft suddenly and without warning meets with the same fate.
Oh, we gotta fly away.
Two skilled pilots, two different aircrafts, two mysterious disappearances. Coincidence? Are these documented disappearances the result of a slightly faulty product, or is a more mysterious power at work here? Huh? Well, anyway, welcome to this review and flight test of the H20 nano hexacopter from JJRC. At first glance, the JJRC H20 looks bigger than its competition, like the MJX X900 or the Revell Nanohex, but looks can be deceiving. Upon closer inspection, it's revealed the distance between the propellers and the size of the propellers is actually about the same, it's just the body that's bigger. In terms of design, the H20 is very similar to the MJX X900, in turn very similar to its bigger siblings, the MJX X800 and X600. JJRC isn't exactly known for making products with a premium feel though, and this definitely holds true here as well. The touch of class of the MJX X900 has here been replaced by a layer of shiny paint, red or gold, on top of some pretty cheap feeling plastic. As I've learned from other JJRC products though, you should be careful about equating the impression of the quality of the product with the actual quality of the product. I mean, the JJRC JJ1000 is one of the cheapest feeling quadcopters I reviewed, but also one of the best in terms of flight characteristics. Despite the aesthetical similarities to the MJX X900, there are some major functional differences. The perhaps majorest difference is the fact that the 150 mAh 3.7V battery of the JJRC H20 is removable and not built in. This is uncommon for nano multirotors. I believe some UDI models have the feature, but that's about the only example I can think of. Anyway, this carries many advantages, like facilitating replacing a faulty battery or enabling you to keep spares, thereby being able to fly for longer without having to charge in between. An arguably minor difference is the prop guards that come included with and pre-mounted on the hexacopter. At least to me, this is also a nano hexacopter first. It's a nice inclusion, especially for beginners, that's going to prevent minor brushes with walls and ceilings from turning ugly when flying indoors. On serious collisions though, they're not going to be of much help, instead adding insult to injury by bending in, hindering the propellers from spinning freely. The transmitter may look like your typical nano transmitter, which returning viewers know I'm not a big fan of, but is actually considerably upscaled from those. See, here it is compared to the transmitter of the Shearson CX10C. In this bigger size, I must admit it's pretty nice as far as toy multirotor transmitters go. I guess size matters. In addition to the usual clicking sticks used here to activate headless mode and return to home, more on this in the flight test, you also got the actual working shoulder buttons for changing between rates and performing flips. The transmitter is mode 2 only and runs off 2 AA batteries. I haven't been able to bind the hexacopter to any other transmitters that I own. Let's have a quick look at what you get with the JJRC H20. Hexacopter, transmitter, set of spare propellers, screwdriver for detaching and reattaching prop guards, USB charging cable, instruction manual, and lastly, a nice compact box you can conveniently transport it all in.
Before continuing on about the flight characteristics of the H20, I should come clean about my preconceived notions about the manufacturer. Lately, I've gotten the impression that the product development process at JJRC has been reduced to basically making a clone of an existing product and dialing up the rates like crazy to generate some buzz. They did it with the JJRC H8, a souped up clone of the Biointoys X7. It could be argued they did it with the JJRC JJ1000, a souped up clone of the Landbau X-Start Next. With that said, I was actually pleasantly surprised by the JJRC H20's flight characteristics. Sure, the highest rate feels more for show than to actually be practical to fly with, but that's just one of the three rates, of which there are great variation in between. The lowest is slow enough to be useful for beginners, yet not frustratingly so for intermediates. The middle rate, the one demonstrated here, is just right for me. A very good compromise between speed and maneuverability. The yaw speed does change between the rates, from a tad on the slow side on the lowest rate to absolutely crazy on the highest rate. Regardless of rate, however, the JJRC H20 is amazingly stable, possibly partly due to its nature as a hexacopter, and holds an almost perfect hover. Let's now talk about the great weakness of the JJRC H20, alluded to in the intro: its range. Beyond the 10-meter mark, there is a significant risk you're gonna run into trouble with this model. The loss of signal would have been bad in and of itself, but the issue is actually a 1-2 punch, the other part of which being poor handling of said loss of signal. The JJRC H20 will not simply drop to the ground when out of range, but instead keep on going for several more seconds. This is the cause of so many flyaways. What you see here is actually my second JJRC H20. The first one met with a fate very similar to those shown in the intro, only I didn't have the presence of mind to capture it. When I received my second and it turned out to suffer the same issue, I decided to try a fix I'd seen online, making a hole in the top of the transmitter and exposing the antenna through it. This seems to have basically resolved the issue altogether. Before I wrap this review up, I just want to quickly mention headless mode and return to home, which are both present and working. 2 points of note though. 1. The direction is locked when you bind the hexacopter, not when you activate headless mode. 2. The aircraft seems to lose its sense of direction quickly when you play around on the highest rate, the one with the crazy yaw. Replaceable battery, improved transmitter design, excellent flight characteristics. In summation, I got so many good things to say about the JJRC H20. And one really bad one, which kind of overshadows the rest. Yes, I'm talking about the range issue. Is it likely to affect yours should you buy one? I've had two, from different retailers bought months apart, and both have suffered from it. So in my experience, yes. Then again, there is always the chance. Or you might be able to fix it with a simple modification. Get lucky, get crafty, or get something else. Happy kind of Halloween! And thanks for watching. I want to give a shout out to the RCAddict and ThatsBS RC for letting me use their content in my intro for this review. Click the thumbnails to go watch their videos. But don't forget to subscribe to me, okay? See you soon in another review. Bye!
From the spectral plane, ancient aliens, the ever-elusive chupacabra, time travelers, the New World Order, the lost island of Atlantis, rogue AIs.